guys, NFL offseason is in full swing and I could not be more excited. We had the combine last weekend, we've got free agency around the corner, and then the draft in a month. And after watching the combine, I'm like, holy cow, there is so much talent. So much talent. So I would really love to see the Chiefs invest in their defense this offseason. After watching the Super Bowl, it became even more clear that a great defense can win you championships. And that's kind of an area where the Chiefs have been struggling the last few seasons. So I would love to see them take a few of these picks, invest in some really young defensive guys. As I mentioned, the draft is just so deep with defensive talent. We would be crazy not to. So from the draft, there's actually a couple guys I'm looking at. First and foremost, Nick Bonito. He is an edge out of Oklahoma. And what he did in the combine just really blew me away. He seems to have really great explosiveness. He's got great size. I just think on that line next to Chris Jones, he could be really explosive. And we could really see some movement down in the trenches. So I would really love to see the Chiefs go after him. At cornerback, there's two guys I'm really looking at. Really love Alontae Taylor. He's out of Tennessee. He's quick. I just think he could be a great addition to the team. If not him, then I'm also looking at Trent McDuffie, another great guy to have and pick up. As I mentioned, the draft is just so deep that I don't think we can go wrong, but those are two guys that I'm looking at. And then from a safety standpoint, there are two guys that I am just absolutely gushing over. Would love to see them on the Chiefs team. Now, I know there's still some things up in the air with Tyrann, but the likelihood is that he will not be back. With that being said, we do need to fill that safety position. So the two guys I'm gushing over would be, first and foremost, Louis Cine out of Georgia. I just think that he is a rock star. Also, Georgia really seems to be able to build that defensive talent. I just really loved what I saw from him. I've seen a couple games with him, and he just always seems to be around the play. Would love to have him as an addition to this Chiefs defense. And then also Daxton Hill out of Michigan. So another great guy to kind of keep an eye on. With our picks, I don't know that they'll still be around or that Daxton Hill will still be around. He was kind of a standout. So not sure if we'll have an opportunity to grab him, but if we do, we'd love to see them go after him. So the draft is actually not the only place that I've seen defensive talent. The free agency market's crawling with some guys that I really like. The first one being Hassan Reddick from the Panthers. He's a younger guy, but the last two seasons, I want to say he's put up like 20-something sacks, 25, 26 sacks. Don't quote me on that. But he is really improved over the last couple seasons. I think he would be a great addition to the team. Great edge rusher. I'm all for it. He'd be my number one choice. But outside of him, there's Zadarius Smith out of Green Bay. Now, I believe he's coming off an injury, so not sure what kind of value he would bring. But also there's Chandler Jones from Arizona, who I really like. The only thing with Chandler Jones is he is a little older. I want to say he's like 31 or so. So I'm not really sure. It would be great to have him for that experienced vet mentality, and he would come in and really help with the younger guys. But what kind of production are we going to see, and how expensive would he be? Those are some of those questions that you kind of have to ask with him. That being said, we do still have Frank Clark, so please keep that in mind. I actually really like Frank Clark. I just think he's way too expensive, so we either need to restructure him or cut him. I don't know. So anxious to see what they do with that, but those are some guys that I'm looking at in free agency from the edge position. From the safety position, I really like Marcus Williams from the Saints. He's 25, I want to say, so a younger guy. I think he could be really explosive on our team. I've liked what I've seen from him when watching him play with the Saints. I like Marcus Williams. I would love to see him come to the team as an experienced safety, while also still drafting a few safeties in the draft. So yeah. While I would love to see the Chiefs build on their defense this offseason, that's not the only place that they have a hole. They actually have holes at wide receiver. Yes, we already have some great talent there, and we obviously have great speed there, but we still really need a solidified wide receiver too. Someone with some experience. So there are rumors going around that Juju Smith-Schuster might still be interested in the Chiefs. As you might know, he actually was a possibility last season. He ultimately ended up staying with the Steelers. So maybe this season we can grab him. I really like Juju Smith-Schuster. I think he would be a great addition to the team. He's got experience. I think he could really come in and be that wide receiver too that we're looking for. That being said, there's also some really great guys in the draft. Two guys that I'm looking at the wide receiver position are going to be, first one, George Pickens from Georgia. He is 6'3". He's got great size, great talent. I think he would be a really great fit for this offense. If not him, then another guy I am looking at is going to be Christian Watson from North Dakota State. He, again, 6'4", 6'3", 6'4", bigger guy. That's kind of where I think we need to invest, as a bigger bodied wide receiver. So two guys that I would like to see. I think they both could be great options. There's just a lot of wide receiver talent. So if not those two, I'm sure there's somebody else they're looking at. That's kind of the thing, though. There's a risk with taking a defensive player first, because then that wide receiver might not be available. So it'll be interesting to see what the Chiefs do with these draft picks. If they draft a defensive player first or an offensive player, do they trade up in the draft? Do they trade away a first pick to go get somebody else? So it's going to be really interesting to watch, and I am here for all of it. I'm just along for the ride. If you liked anything you heard, if you want to talk to me more about what I think should be happening in the offseason, hit me up on Twitter or Instagram. I am always down to talk football, always down to talk offseason, always down for anyone to listen to me rant about what I think should happen with the Chiefs. So hit me up at the Kylie Manning, and I'll tell you what I think. Let's do it. And of course, always go Chiefs.